Good morning to everyone who's watching this. My name is Jess, and I'm the marketing director at the home office at BeBalanced. And today I have Ashley here with me. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. So I just want to let everybody know that what we're talking about today is actually our gut restoration program. So a lot of people who are familiar with BeBalanced are more familiar with our weight loss program, but we actually have several different programs. One of them being a gut restoration that's dealing with something called leaky gut. So, Ashley, do you know anything about leaky gut? What does
I
that
did
mean to you?
not No, I did not know anything about leaky gut, and apparently I had it.
So it's interesting. If you look at statistics, if you just Google how many people have leaky gut, and people are like leaky gut. That's why we call it the gut restoration. We want to call it like nobody wants to admit they have leaky gut, but it's literally 80 to 90% of people have at least some level of this. And it's just so basically, just to let everyone know that doesn't know what leaky gut is, so basically our gut lining, it's built like this structure, right? And it's supposed to protect us from pathogens coming in and toxins and all that stuff. But what happens is it starts to break down through various things, different medications, even certain supplements, our American diet. It starts to break down those walls, and what happens is bacteria gets in there, and it causes all kinds of inflammation in the body. Your good bacteria, your bad bacteria get off kilter, and it can cause a lot of symptoms, and people don't always associate it with kind of their gut health, but your gut also is responsible for so many different things. Your immune system, most of your immune systems there, even your neurotransmitters in your brain, so like mood issues could actually be caused by problems in your gut lining. So like tell us, Ashley, kind of what you were experiencing. How did you even find Be Balanced? How did you come about this program? Like just tell us kind of your story a little bit.
Sure. So I have three kids, and when my youngest was about 4 months old, I was like, you know what? I need to get back into fitness. I want to get my body back. I knew we were done having kids, so let's get back my body. So I started working out, and I lost all my baby weight, and then I got too skinny. So now I wanted to build muscle and kind of get go in that direction. So I joined Warrior Babe, which is just a woman's fitness and online training. And so once I did that, I've been doing that for about 3.5 years, 4 years now. And during that process, you gain weight to gain muscle, then you cut and you lose weight. And through those processes, I feel like I ate a lot of bunch of food and then I didn't eat any food. And it kind of went back and forth so much that like I was bloated all the time, and I didn't like I tried some foods, and then these foods gave me my stomach hurt, and my skin was messed up, my hormones were messed up from all my kids. I feel like everything just kind of compounded. And so then my doctor was like, you should go on birth control and that will clear everything up. And I'm not all about going back on birth control. And I was like, there's got to be something that's like holistic or something in my body that's just not aligning, that synthetic drugs are not going to help, right? So I googled hormone balancing in Leesburg, and Be Balanced popped up, and I'm like, oh, this is like 5 minutes from my house, like what is this place? So then I went in and scheduled an appointment with them, and so we kind of went through all the checklist of items, and Angela is the lady I talked to, and I was like, she's like, you have a leaky gut. You need to like reset your gut. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Never knew that. So we jumped right into that. So I started with the pack, and I did that for 2 months, 3 months, did the whole thing. And within like weeks, 2 weeks maybe, of eating whole foods and getting all the vitamins and minerals and doing the creams and everything, it was like a 360 of how I felt and my skin and my hair, and like everything just completely reversed. And I was like, I was just eating supplements and protein shakes and protein bars and all this synthetic food that obviously was not going very well with my body. So once I switched that and started doing all the whole foods, and it was a huge difference on my body.
It's amazing. So were you, were your goals more, because obviously you just wanted to feel better, right?
Yeah.
Um, Because a lot of people find, like we have a weight loss program, we have these programs, but at the end of the day, I mean, what we're doing is teaching people how to work with their body. So not, not just the digestive health, but people don't realize how much their hormone levels impact everything and how stress, is a huge factor in this. And I always say this statement over and over again. If you had a plant, would you give it soda and expect it to thrive? And it just puts into perspective, and we know, right, that we should be eating real foods, but we don't realize how much that the things like affect us that are not real foods. We're like, oh, they make it, but once you learn, so just to let everybody know a little bit about this program as well. So it's multifaceted. Starts with diet, right? So what we're like, it's an anti-inflammatory diet because people have no idea how much foods they react to, and it's interesting when you have leaky gut, it actually causes sensitivities to foods that you maybe didn't have before. So yeah, what we do is we kind of take you down to the base level. You're eating a whole foods diet, anti-inflammatory, but then you start to bring foods back in and it starts to help, like it helps you really learn about your body. Okay, I'm sensitive to this, or this makes me feel this way. And until you do that, like go to your baseline level, you would never really know that, and you're tracking it. So that's a big part of it. But the second part of it too is the supplements that come with it too. So healing that gut lining is so important. And, and that's kind of how we structured our program so that you are repairing, your gut lining as well as, building up that good bacteria. And it's interesting, like you say, like within like a couple weeks, right? Like, and if you were going to be put on like birth control or even medications, most of that is actually contributing to more leaky gut. So it's crazy, like, for us, because this is what we do every day, that this is what people hear, right? Even with, imbalance in hormone levels, and a lot of the symptoms of hormone imbalances are very similar because our bodies are all connected, right? And when we have different issues, they kind of play off each other. But most people go to their doctor and they're giving them medications.
Right.
So I'm grateful you found us, and that this really helped you too. So tell me like other areas, like I know like a lot of people come to us they do have gut issues. How like what mood, sleep, energy did that improve? Like tell me just kind of like how this impacted you.
So I was really bloated and the bloat went away. Like my face got super thin. Like it was just stuff that I didn't even know was going on in my body left. And then I guess kind of the energy level, it was coffee, right? So I got rid of coffee. And coffee was like my go-to. Coffee's gonna take me through the day. Like I drive my kids to school, pick them up, and it's like a 30-minute drive. So that coffee in the afternoon was like my pick-me-up. If I wasn't, I was like sleeping on the way home. And I stopped coffee altogether. And I started drinking green tea. And I'm like 1,000 times have more energy, more energetic, more awake than I was before. So I don't know if it's the, combination and whatever, but I added coffee back a little bit, but I can tell the difference of when I drink green tea versus coffee. Like it just doesn't do it for me. I get whatever it does to my body is not enough. So that switch was like crazy. And just that I have never felt tired in the afternoons anymore. My energy level is crazy. I sleep very well. That's very important to me. So I like prioritize my sleep. So that's great. The bloatedness is crazy. And now that I'm starting to add new foods back in, I can definitely see the differences. So I'll have like oatmeal or something. I'm like, oh, okay. So I know what that does to my body now, and I can see the differences because it's like another element that I'm adding into my whole foods diet. So I know exactly what is going on. And my skin is cleared up, and it's a combination of everything. And also, I count my macros. So I've been doing that for like 4 years now. So when I started this, Angela was like, it's going to be a little hard to count your macros. You might not hit everything because of what you're eating now. It's going to be harder to hit your numbers, which are pretty high. And I went home and I calculated everything, and I easily hit my numbers, which is crazy that I can find whole foods to hit these numbers. And a lot of the people are like, I'm on the go all the time, and I I can't find Whole Foods to fit everything, and that's a lot of grilled chicken or whatever you eat. And I just, plan it all out, pack my little lunchbox, and I'm gone most of the days. And I pack everything in there and make sure I'm hitting all my macros and hitting all of my whole foods. And it just goes really well together. And it worked beautifully.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's, it really comes to planning, right? And it's that prioritizing of self. So if
Yes.
something's important to you, right? Like I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, what am I going to do about it? And so when you find a program, which is what's so beautiful about all of our programs, they're laid out for you specifically. There's no guesswork, until you start to introduce new things and learn about your specific body. But it's nice to have something that it's like laid out, right? And it takes the guesswork out of it. But
Yeah.
with that too, it's like, this is important to me. So I've got to make that extra time on Sunday or whatever, and there you can always find those foods. You just have to change your mentality of that too. Because a lot of times we hear that like oh, I don't have time, or oh, but you have time to do what you make important, right?
Yeah.
And once you start feeling better, like it makes it easy to
Yes.
want to keep going. And then you start to implement, new practices. And okay, so I wanted to ask you this too, because a big part of what we teach at Be Balanced with any of our programs is stress management. So stress is literally the one of the main factors that's causing imbalanced hormones in the first place and causing issues in the gut too. So part of all of our programs is stress management, like part of it. So did you incorporate that in your life? How did that impact you? Just tell me a little bit about that.
So I did. So I have like 2 rest days a week. And so those rest days, I have now added yoga into it, which I knew I should have been doing, but I just wasn't making time for it. So I made sure and I made an appointment on my calendar. This hour is I'm going to yoga. And then in my 30-minute drive to get my kids, I listened to the YouTube, whatever videos of the music for like digestion. And I just like zoned out and did my 30 minutes of that. And it really did help me de-stress. And I have one of those mats with the little prickly bottoms on it. And so I would sit on that for 30 minutes at night and just like decompress. So I feel like adding those elements in it, I just wasn't prioritizing it. So to get that in there, I definitely felt the like calmness and the stress and give me that 30 minutes pops a day of just decompressing and finding myself.
Well, what's interesting about that entire statement that you said, like you just told me before, like you went from 30 minutes of drinking straight coffee to 30 minutes of actually mindfulness and taking care of yourself, and you have more energy. So it's, in our modern society, we're go, 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 right? And what happens is our bodies, like, they're not meant to do that. Like, we're not meant to be constantly going all the time. And on top of that, like people have no idea that stress comes to us at so many different avenues. If we lived on a desert island, that we're eating fresh food and we got sunlight and there was no toxins in the air, but people don't realize over exercising is stress on your body. Artificial lights, pain, all these things, and it's overtaxing our bodies. And you add on to that like our crazy lifestyle, we need to rest, and give ourselves permission to rest. And it's hard, sometimes it's hard to shift that mentality, but that's what's so beautiful about our programs is like we're telling you you have to do this. Like it's part of the program. It's not optional. Even our weight loss, what the first thing weight loss program, when people are having a slow loss or they're not hitting their goals, the first thing we ask them is, are you doing a relaxation? And it's just crazy. It's like opposite of what we've been taught. Like, right, you're supposed to work out harder or, eat less. And
Yeah.
that's stress to your body as well. It's working with your body to understand how it functions best for you. So I
Yeah.
do want to show on screen because I have a picture of you, your before and after. And I'm just going to preempt this to everybody that you looked amazing before. For
Thank you.
sure. Let me just share this real quick. But this is incredible, and I just like just let us know like how long did it take you like in this process? Because I mean you went from like looking amazing already, but to like ripped, girl. You look
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. So those pictures are 2 months apart.
Wow.
So it was the first 30 days of eating like total whole foods, total, the relaxation, everything part of it. And then the 30 days of um, like adding food slowly back in, which I'm still eating whole foods and I'm still doing all that. But that was the end result
Yeah.
of the
Well, that's incredible for 2 months. I mean, you could even tell like you have, sorry to call out the bags under your eyes, but you could like you can just, I mean, even the joy in your face in the second one, but it's like, and you can tell like, just and a lot of people, I'll stop my share, but what they don't realize is like what's going on is a lot of inflammation.
yeah.
So, when your body's inflamed, you're getting, pains, joints and all this stuff, but it impacts like everything within your body. And, to reduce that inflammation, to understand what foods are causing that too is great. So, um, I mean, that pretty much covered everything. I love hearing your journey. I'm just grateful that you found us. And like, if you were, let me ask you this, if you were to like tell anybody, about your experience or kind of your why or why they should invest in themselves or why they should like maybe look into Be Balanced, what would you say?
So a lot of people get scared about the diet part of it, the whole foods. I can't possibly do it. And I can't be that strict for 30 days. I can't do it for 60 days. I can't, that's too long. And my way of thinking, my husband says I'm on a different planet, but I'm very determined. And if I'm like going to do something, I do not deviate. Like I will do this 100%. And my thinking is that I've tried so many different things to regulate my hormones, to clear my skin, to, de-bloat myself, and to commit for 30 days or 60 days of eating a certain way to cure all of that and to know what I'm doing like for years to come. Those 36 days don't mean anything to me. So it's worth doing it for that short, I mean, that's just short amount of time to be able to figure out your body and then live a long life, healthy and de-bloated and feeling great. So I know it's scary to eat that way and to, dive in, but it's worth it. You'll feel a million times better. And it's great to understand your body more. Like now I don't even, like I count my macros still, but it's minutes because I know exactly what I'm eating. And I literally ate the same thing every single day. And I still eat the same thing every single day. And it's easy. And it's, the dinners I'll change up every once in a while, but I know exactly what I'm eating before my workouts, after my workouts, in the morning, at night. Like I don't have to question anything. I know exactly what it is. I know what works for my body. I know everything. So that information in itself is just like gold to me. So it just takes the guesswork out of everything. I just feel a million times better. And I had no plans to change anything of how I'm eating or working out or anything like that. So definitely if you're feeling off and also what's that the oil,
Oh,
MCT
MCT oil.
oil.
That's liquid gold.
It is liquid gold, 100%. That I added into my salads. I added into my tea at night. If I miss a salad, like that is like, I had so much brain fog that I didn't even know I had. Like, I remember like, just like, kids ask me questions and I'm just like, yeah, I think, now I'm like, I have no brain fog. I am like on it. Like it is, once you step into this world, it's crazy to think about what you were dealing with before that you didn't even know was a problem. So it's worth it 100%.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you shared that too. And it's just a couple key points that I heard too is like when people like they have that fear, right? I can't do this, I can't do that. But what's interesting is if they give themselves a shot, right? And trust and believe in themselves, like you said, within 2 weeks. And once you start feeling better, you don't want to go back to the way
Right.
you lived. And a lot of women that come to us, they're already doing a lot of the right things. But sometimes the right things are not exactly right for your specific body. So until you learn how your body works and adding in, those other elements that people don't think about, adding more stress to manage it as opposed to like working out harder. It's just a retrain, but it makes sense once you think it through and start to experience it. But the other great thing that I heard too is like all of our programs, they're not just like a quick fix, right? It's not like eat this, do this, here are your results. We partner, and just so everyone knows, like all of our programs have coaching that go along with it. We're with you the entire journey because we want to be there to support you. And I think that's a huge element, but it's teaching you how to maintain whatever your goals are as a lifestyle. Because for us, you know, it's great to help people lose weight or start feeling better, but the main thing is like, how is that going to impact your whole life? Keeping that weight off, maintaining, your vitality, and your youthfulness. And so that's so special to us because I see you and I'm like, every time I get to have these connections, I'm like, that's one more person that we've changed their life. That's one more person that now will live like a healthier, longer lifestyle. That's one more mom that's going to be more kind to her children.
Yep.
And, because we don't always like, I'm getting emotional right now because, it's not about the weight. It's about creating a better you so that you can show up for yourself and everybody in your life. That's why we love the butterfly in our logo because it's that transformation, right? And you know that butterfly effect, when the mom of the house or the woman in her environment and her community takes care of herself and opens up, and changes everything. And so I just want to tell you that first of all, I'm glad that you found us. I'm grateful that you gave yourself the opportunity to try this. And I'm so glad that it's impacted your life. And I'm just grateful that you shared your story with me today.
Yeah,
Is there
absolutely.
anything else you'd like to say or wrap up?
No, I think, it's like you said, it's do it for you. You want to feel better. You don't know what you're missing out on until you try this.